Welcome everybody to another edition of Duel of the Takes. It's going to be Nate's favorite episode in post-production. We're doing another draft. It's going to be the greatest classic rock bands of all time. So it's going to be the same as last time. The last episode we did top Disney villains. No, it was Marvel.
MCU.
Marvel characters.
Grace beat me in a draft, and now she gets to challenge our good friend John Parolski.
Hello.
First time he's been on the show, he gets to compete in a draft battle. How you feeling? Are you confident? Are you afraid?
I am definitely afraid, as Grace has been definitely tearing it up over these previous draft battles.
Yeah, Grace seems unstoppable right now. She's acting like WCW Goldberg over here.
You're hyping me up too much. I'm nervous about this draft.
Nate has created a pool of classic rock bands that each team will be able to draft, and instead of 20 bands, we are doing 25. This will be the longest draft we ever did. They have 56 bands to choose from. As for Nate and myself, I think I could speak for him that we both love this genre, and it shouldn't be a problem for us to judge this.
Yeah, when we do an episode in season 9 of our every music genre ever ranked, classic rock has to be at least top 5.
Just by the list of these bands, which I will name right now, we have Led Zeppelin, Alden's favorite band, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, AC/DC, Steely Dan, Pink Floyd, The Who, Prince and the Revolution, The Jimi Hendrix Experience, Boston, Kansas, Creedence Clearwater Revival, Aerosmith, Motley Crue, Rat, Tesla?
It's supposed to be Tesla.
Oh, I was like, I've never heard of this band. There we go. Tesla, Fleetwood Mac, Journey, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Eagles, Motorhead, Van Halen, Lynyrd Skynyrd, Steve Miller Band, Styx, Foreigner, ELO?
It's ELO.
Oh, okay. ELO. I've had an IPA. Queen, Rush, Scorpions, Wings, Heart, Europe, Kiss, Yes, Cheap Trick, Steppenwolf, Genesis, Alice Cooper, Blue Oyster Cult, Def Leppard, Doobie Brothers, Cream, The Doors, Thin Lizzy, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, The Kinks, Quiet Riot, The Runaways, Dire Straits, ZZ Top, Guns N' Roses, and The Police.
Josh, are you doing okay? That's the most amount of reading you've had to do in about a year.
That was a bachelor's degree education reading right there.
It didn't help that I was literally fixing typos as you were reading. My bad.
I saw that, I was like, oh no. But I really love a lot of these bands. This is going to be tough to judge, I think.
There's even a couple on here that I don't like, so this is going to be really interesting. It's a big enough list for it to not just be like some of my favorite groups.
Grace is the returning champion. Heads or tails, Grace?
Tails.
And John Parolski will have the first pick for once Grace isn't going first.
Snap.
Oh boy. This wasn't part of the plan. I thought she was going to win inevitably.
Well, we got a long list ahead. So the way I would draft this is, say you want to make a festival, like a music festival of probably the greatest classic rock bands of all time. That's how I would draft going in it. You don't have to do that, but
Woodstock 99 too, if you will.
So yeah. John, what is your first overall pick? What is the greatest classic rock band of all time?
Well, I was stuck between two options, but I think I'm going to have to go with Van Halen.
Whoa.
Eddie Van Halen alone changed the way people viewed rock music in 78 and 79, and then the format that all of the rest of the bands, not all of the rest of the bands, but a lot of the bands on this list that are more of the 80s and 90s type, they just go after Van Halen, and I think that they're probably the best band on this list.
Wow. That is
they're definitely
hot
top
take.
10.
I think it's definitely a hot take, but I don't necessarily disagree.
Yeah, I love Van Halen.
And you got to think they have two, with a few of the other bands as well, but with Van Halen, they have two significant generations. They have the David Lee Roth generation for the beginning, where Eddie was changing music, doing the popularizing finger tapping, and just trying to make random noises come out of his guitar. And then you go to the later years when Sammy Hagar joined, he was already a top-selling artist, and so they basically became a power band, a supergroup, if you will.
Not Van Halen 3, though.
Yeah, Van Halen 3 is okay.
Van Halen 3 is one of the biggest bro moments in rock history, if you ask me.
Yeah, but again, I think one thing that you do have to give credit to Van Halen, though, is the longevity, and they were one of the few 70s rock bands to, like, naturally progress into a different, like, sound in the 80s. And even through the early 90s, too. Before Van Halen 3, they were still putting out good music.
For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge is a great album.
No, I think Van Halen's a solid choice in terms of, like, duration in which they were active and, like, the impact. I think that they're a contender for the top 3 or 4, in my opinion. But there it is, the number 1 pick, Van Halen.
Are you writing these down, Nate?
Yeah, I am, actually.
Okay. All right, Grace, your first pick. I was going to say, and why is it Big Time Rush?
Have you heard this song worldwide? I mean, come on.
No, I know the guy.
They're not 20 years old yet, so not considered classic.
They're like in their 30s, I thought.
No. They haven't been around for 20 years.
Oh, okay. All right. Anyways, my first pick is going to be Queen.
Nice.
Another one I wouldn't have picked at number 1. This is nuts.
Oh, this feels so good. Now everything's going according to plan.
What's wrong with Queen?
Personally, I wouldn't pick Queen like first overall, but I definitely see why most people would.
Yeah, no, I think these are very non-traditional number 1 picks. I'm pretty pleased with this. Grace, why'd you pick Queen at number 1?
I picked Queen because I grew up listening to a lot of their songs, and I'm a huge fan of Bohemian Rhapsody. Like, not the movie, like, well, yeah, the movie, but the song. It is just so good, and wasn't it like the first, like, 6-minute song on the radio or something?
In terms of songs that were on the pop charts as well, or like the Hot 100, whatever it was called back then, it was probably the longest song on there for quite a while. Probably the only song over 6 minutes long on the Billboard Hot 100 for probably the duration of the 1980s.
I think it was longer than the Stairway to Heaven radio cut, too.
Queen's an awesome band.
Yeah, I love Queen, and I really wanted them on my team, so that's why I chose them first.
In terms of frontmen alone, these two bands are very, very interesting.
Also, in terms of like anthems, this is definitely like the top 2 bands.
If this is a like a music festival, these two are good headliners to have.
Definitely. Okay. John, how do you bounce back with your number 2 pick?
I'm going to have to go with Led Zeppelin.
Oh, okay, cool.
Nice.
Yeah, greatest rock band of all time, so sorry that I put Van Halen first, but...
Why Led Zeppelin?
Led Zeppelin only was around for, I think, 11 years.
Sounds right.
What are you talking about? They just renamed to Greta Van Fleet.
Yeah, they all got reincarnated.
Watching Greta Van Fleet live is pretty, like, him doing those screams and everything, it's pretty close to some of those Robert Plant live videos from 73 at Madison Square Garden.
I was about to say, were you there?
No. No, Led Zeppelin, it's, once again, once Bonham died, they decided to not continue on, and I think that's probably one of the things that has made their music last, where they don't really have a bad album. Yeah, of course, you have Led Zeppelin 1 through 4, but even In Through the Back Door, their last album, I believe that's what it was called, still a great album and a very emotional album. But even at that time, while tension was rising in the band and they were thinking about breaking up, it was Bonham's death that caused it. And I think that the not having that longevity of the band just going on for years and years and years really made their impact on music super popular, and it was what made their music still last till today.
Yeah, no, if you're talking overall album to album consistency, I think that's why Led Zeppelin has stood the test of time for being like one of the greats. I mean, yeah, you're totally right in that they don't have a bad album. In terms of like what they're playing at this music festival, it's even if they only have 10 songs, it's gonna be It's going to be one of the best sets there for sure.
A lot of the bands on this list also have that inspiration from Led Zeppelin, where they all, a lot of times, Van Halen at the end of their shows during the Sammy Hagar eras, they'd play rock and roll as their encore, their last song during the show. And so many of these bands on this list do that because Led Zeppelin just made such an impact on the world of music during their brief time they were around.
Grace, have you listened to Greta Van Fleet yet?
Like I said, I'm not good with names, but I'd probably heard of it.
I think you would really like them, actually.
I think so too.
I genuinely like Greta Van Fleet. I think they get a lot of hate, but at the same time, like, I hope that they like blossom into their own sound eventually. A group that is able to sell out stadiums, like doing like another group's sound, should probably put out something else when they have the spotlight on them, you know?
And I think their newest album's kind of going towards something different, but I need just another album that's got to be completely different.
The new pop album.
That's unfortunately the way it might go. They might be the next Coldplay.
Honestly, Coldplay gets too much hate, but that's a conversation for another time.
Hey, they're not on this list, and that's all that matters.
Not yet.
Nickelback would technically qualify now.
Yeah, they would be.
Stop, please.
Coldplay and Nickelback will be on this list soon.
Yeah, but so will Weezer.
Oh, I love them.
Grace, what is your number 2 pick?
My number 2 pick is the Beatles.
There it is.
Alden's favorite band.
I love the Beatles because I don't know, I like their message in songs, and if you listen to their lyrics really closely, like, it's really good.
I'd be careful about listening to those messages.
Well, we were talking about consistency with Led Zeppelin, and I think one of my favorite things in response with your choice of the Beatles is how inconsistent they are. Like, their sound evolved so much over their very similar run of time, if I'm not mistaken. It was like 10 or 11 years. They put out 10 hours worth of music, and I think each hour plays entirely different than the last. I personally like their psychedelic stuff a lot.
I like the White Album.
Again, I don't think the Beatles have a bad album. I think they have a couple of early safe albums, but I don't think they have a bad album either, if I'm being honest.
When somebody says, like, what their favorite Beatles album is, there really isn't a wrong answer.
Grace, what's your favorite Beatles album?
My favorite Beatles album?
I said Grace, but go ahead, Josh.
Go off, King.
Go ahead, Josh.
Grace, you go, because I don't know.
I
don't want to be a normie and just say Abbey Road.
Oh, I was just gonna say that because I love Here Comes the Sun. I love that song.
Mine is definitely Revolver. That is my favorite Beatles album, with Rubber Soul as a close second.
Oh, what about Help?
That's their early stuff. I'm not too keen on it.
Let It Be is my favorite. It's a great ending.
Yeah.
What a great ending to a great era of music.
Sweet. Well, this top 4, or rather top 2 each, is looking very, very stacked. John Parolski's got Van Halen and Led Zeppelin, and Grace Kubus is rocking Queen and the Beatles. I know which one of these concerts my mom wants to go to, and I know which one of these concerts my dad wants to go to.
Yep.
So far, I'm going to both of these concerts.
I will sell my left arm to go to both of these.
I also like that. I feel like Led Zeppelin and Van Halen performing close ties. I don't know who would go first or anything, but the Queen to Beatles is just a whole roller coaster of a ride.
Yeah, and like the Beatles were kind of too big to do things like Woodstock in their heyday. Like they didn't perform together after. They never really had like a proper reunion or whatever. It would be weird to see the Beatles at a music festival. Like that would just be so freaking nuts. Like what songs are they playing?
And I keep thinking they're opening for Queen, so it's going to go like from Hey Jude to Let It Be, and then you're going to have Bohemian Rhapsody and Killer Queen right afterwards.
No. What about the Yellow Submarine song?
As Let It Be ends, you just hear ba ba ba,
slamming onto the piano keys.
John, number 3.
I have no idea how this is gonna go, but AC/DC is gonna be my 3rd pick.
Okay.
I like Iron Man too.
AC/DC has had such a good run. Especially, I know their earlier albums aren't nearly as popular, but their albums with Bon Scott are some of my favorite albums ever. You have Highway to Hell, which was Bon Scott's last album, and then out of nowhere, this underdog band from Australia releases Back in Black 8 months after their lead singer dies with a similar sound, because AC/DC's sound basically has never changed. The new singer just added a whole new element, and immediately they skyrocketed in the United States and around the world, and AC/DC still has the second greatest album, or second highest grossing album of all time, just behind Michael Jackson's Thriller. And for a rock album that came out in 1980 to still hold that spot strong today, that's pretty remarkable.
I don't know if it's just like the rate your music, like music snobs out there that shit all over AC/DC because their songs are relatively easy to play. There's nothing too complex or experimental. The joke is like they have the same like bass line for every single song. I get that, but at the same point, like in a music festival scenario, that's what modern music is.
That's true.
They would probably go hard at a festival. Like, AC/DC would be a headliner to a lot of people going to this 25 group, 4-day-long music festival.
You could also make the argument that while everybody jokes that AC/DC's always sounded the same and has never changed, look at a band like Metallica, who people absolutely hated their 90s run and absolutely hated Saint Anger, but now in 20 years after that, Hardwired to Self-Destruct, people are saying is some of their favorite Metallica album. But that's music that's changed through the years. And AC/DC, always keeping that simplicity, I think, is what has always gotten their albums to at least be sold.
Number 3.
My number 3 pick is Aerosmith.
Wow, I really wouldn't have them this high.
Damn!
Wow, everything just evened out so perfectly for me there.
Yeah, it really just evened out totally.
Hey! Wow. Okay.
Why Aerosmith? Like, why top 3 for you? Why are they a headliner at your music festival?
Well, like playing hockey in the locker room, we would listen to Aerosmith. And I don't know, maybe it's just more of like a personal thing to me, but I really like them. I really like Dream On. I remember I used to put that song on repeat just when I was practicing, like, so I don't know, I just really like them.
I was just gonna say, like AC/DC, if they're doing like 5-10 songs, like it's gonna be one of the most consistent sets there. In terms of like bread and butter, Aerosmith has hits. Like they slap. Like Dream On, Walk This Way. Like, there's a lot of potential for an Aerosmith set.
I mean, it's incredibly impressive that Aerosmith were still, like, big in the 90s, came out with a massive hit. Their biggest hit ever was in 1999, which is mind-boggling to me.
I Don't Want to Miss a Thing is a fucking banger. Probably one of the best rock ballads.
Love that song.
You're closing the, like, their performance with that song.
I literally thought that song came out in, like, 86, and then when we were talking about Armageddon that one time for like,
yep,
we like looked it up, and that came out in like 1999, and I just remember like my jaw hit the floor. I was like, there's no way.
It's insane.
Plus Aerosmith's range, I mean, that first album, Grace, I don't know if you've listened to their full first album, but Steven Tyler sounds nothing like he does now, especially with that aspect of he was afraid to sing in that higher pitch back in the early days. But even from their first album too, yeah, the later stuff when they went with Run DMC, and that's what brought them out of retirement by remaking Walk This Way. And then I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, I can name, well, my parents, but so many people I know, oh, that's my parents' wedding song, just around that time period.
If I ever get married, that's my wedding song.
And that was the only Aerosmith song that is more popular than all their other songs that they didn't write. It was written by the person who was doing the soundtrack for the movie, I believe.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they did not write that song.
Imagine Aerosmith is one of your headliners at this music festival, and Walk This Way starts playing, and then like Run DMC just shows up, and
as a cameo.
Also, like they,
oh yes.
Oh.
Oh,
that would honestly be like a big enough like yo to warrant them being in the top 3. So Grace, I respect this Aerosmith pick a lot.
That'd be like Tobey Maguire in the new movie.
Well, thank you.
Maybe.
allegedly.
The multiverse.
Josh, what are your thoughts here after the top 3? Where you said everything just evened out for you.
Yeah, completely even. I feel like they, like you said, they both had like underrated picks as their first, and then really their second one. I mean, they're both of their picks. I mean, Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, I feel like are always in the conversation of greatest bands of all time. And then you have the I think the definition of like boomer music in both Aerosmith and AC/DC.
I'm glad you said it and not me.
Nice.
Boomer rock. If that's not a playlist on Spotify, I'm making it after this.
Boomer rock.
All right, Johnny P. Good. What you got for number 4?
Grace is starting to make me nervous with that hair metal pick. All of my next picks, I feel like she's going to steal, so I got to get them over with. My number 4 is Kiss.
Oh, no.
The Knights in Satan's Service, if you will.
Nice.
Nice.
Rockin' Brews is literally Jory's favorite restaurant of all time, John.
Wow.
It's better than Planet Hollywood, I will say that.
Oh, definitely.
Why Kiss, John? Give us the rundown.
Nicholas Alexander told me to. Kiss's iconography is really what I think would solidify them at the top of a list. They've been around for so long. I mean, Gene Simmons says he created music. So
What?
Kiss has been around for long enough where, and not to say that they have lasted with these reunion tours and the never-ending final tours that they've done for the past 20 years, but during their heyday from the 70s to the 80s, just every album was so different, so diverse. The whole point of them making I Was Made for Loving You was to go with that disco feel. And next thing you know, that's being played at roller rinks and disco parties and everything. And it really popularized this band of these people dressed in makeup and weird outfits made of leather.
When it comes to marketing and merchandise, no band has done it better.
Also, they were the first band to really do pyrotechnics on stage and everything. That and everything now. I know there's also the laser light shows, but seriously, with fireworks and fire and explosions, they were one of the first bands to really do that in the 70s, and every band thereafter, especially throughout the 80s, followed.
Music festival. Dude, Kiss, like their pyrotechnics and show presentation alone, nuts. Absolutely. It would be insane. And like one thing too is like Kiss is still around and performing, but we're talking about in their heyday, like time machine type shit. Kiss would have one of the coolest shows ever. So I think that this was a cool pick. Not one of my favorite bands per se, but I definitely respect Kiss. Happy to see it this high. I didn't think it would be, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, personally, Kiss wouldn't have been in my top 5, but I understand the love for Kiss, and I do enjoy Kiss.
Yeah, so far, there's only 2 bands that I think I would have drafted in my top 5.
Yeah, 2 or 3 for me.
Grace, in response to Kiss, what is your number 4?
My number 4 is going to be the Rolling Stones.
Oh, no!
Yo, she's got the whole British invasion.
Close.
Oh, wait. Yeah, she's close.
I think because Josh, like, dad has always been, like, a fan of the Rolling Stones, and he always would listen to them. Honestly, one of my favorite songs from them is probably You Can't Always Get What You Want. I still play that song on repeat. Like, it's so good. And it's a long song, too. But I love the Rolling Stones, and I needed them on my list.
Rest in peace, Charlie. He just passed away.
Was that Monday?
Was it this week? Wow.
Yeah, Rolling Stones, I think that they, like, at one point were, like, overrated, but I feel like as time goes on, I feel like they're simultaneously being, like, low-key forgotten about, which is wild, because they have so many great songs.
Yeah.
I know I just talked about Kiss with their merchandise, but the Rolling Stones has, like, the greatest band logo of all time, right?
Pretty damn close.
It's got to be up there.
Recognizably, yes. For sure.
It's not the one I like the most, but you know what I mean.
Wow. This is nuts.
Now I'm even more paranoid than I was before when you brought up the British invasion, because the 2 next bands I have are British, and I'm afraid she's going to take them from under me.
I will say, after Grace's pick here, my dad would be debating with himself which show he's going to right now.
Yeah.
There's still 2 bands that's really sticking in my mind where, like, somebody needs to pick them, like, now.
There are, like, 5 for me, but yeah, I agree.
There are too many good ones on the list. That's a problem. We're going over 55.
There's too many.
Yeah, that's true.
Nate's talking about going to both these concerts, and you're going to have to pack a sleeping bag for a week.
I mean, this is at least a 4-day festival. 25 of the greatest bands of all time. If there's 2 of them, that's an 8-day long festival. We're going to have to do this on some exclusive island. Everyone's going to have to eat cheese sandwiches for 8 days.
They'll be dropping off water in helicopters.
Josh, do you have any questions here at the number 4 spot, or should we move on to number 5?
Yeah, I think good picks for both. Let's see what number 5. Let's finish off this top 5.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath, of course, was one of the first metal bands that pushed into the United States and became very popular. Of course, there are songs like Iron Man and Paranoid that are still known to this day, but Children of the Grave, I'd say, is one of their underrated songs, but that is a very much power metal sounding song where it's a constant build up to a really good chorus, and I think that having Black Sabbath up in the top 5, not with Def Leppard, would be a good way to round off finishing out AC/DC and Kiss, and then
solid.
Yeah, Black Sabbath, iconic band. Grace, how do you respond?
I don't know. I've been going through a lot of these bands, and the one that I know you mentioned, Josh, I think I'm gonna take my 5th pick would be Journey.
Damn it.
I did not mention Journey, but go on.
Yes, you did.
If I mention Journey, I'm talking how they're one of the most overrated bands. But go on.
They're not overrated.
Hey, where do you stand here?
Well, I am currently rewatching The Sopranos, so I feel like my Journey love is at like an all-time high at this moment in time. I think Journey, for the sake of like this greatest artists of all time music festival thing, yeah, top 5 makes sense, especially with who else Grace has selected. Like, it fits right in with her lineup. I think that Journey is a really, really solid band. Definitely more of like a singles band, more of a hits band than an album band. But
yeah,
you can't deny that there's been a lot of talent with that band over the years. And they're kind of one of those that was pretty quick to evolving with the times, even if that means like not necessarily their sound changing, but like their band members changing. Like, haven't they had like 7 or 8 bassists since they started in like the late 70s? Like, that's a lot of a pivotal band member to rotate around as much as they have. Yeah, I mean, it fits in with the boomer rock aesthetic. I think Journey's a great choice.
I was gonna say, like, the song "Don't Stop Believin'," everyone knows that song. You could play it and everyone still knows it to this day.
Absolutely. Wheel in the Sky, absolute banger. They've got a lot of great songs.
Faithfully.
I'll have a hot take that I think they're the band that has the king of like bangers has not been picked yet for me, but I'll reveal it when somebody picks it. But I agree, Journey has a lot of bangers.
Pick as my number 1 still hasn't been picked yet, and it's blowing my damn mind.
Yeah, me too.
And if we're talking about bangers, there's a couple more that haven't been picked yet. But honestly, I'm happy to see it because like this is tough right now. Top 5 is half. These are both great lists so far. And, like, they're not what I expected, and that's a lot of fun.
What the draft is all about. But, John, you sounded disappointed there when Grace made that pick.
Yeah, Journey's just, like she said, Don't Stop Believin' is such a popular song. It's in so many movies. It's always played at sporting events.
In the Rock of Ages play, that's in the storyline for that play. I believe it's the perfect rock song that he writes at the end.
Yeah. Well, my knowledge is from the movie, not the actual play with Tom Cruise.
Oh my god, that movie.
How's that movie aged? Is that a commentary track waiting to happen?
It could be. That movie's kind of a meme.
Please do it, please.
Josh, what are your thoughts here at the top 5?
I mean, overall solid. I think Grace is definitely going for the biggest hits of the classic rock era, which I very much respect. John also has some great bands. I think he's pulling a lot of like his favorites and some personal stuff, which I can definitely respect also.
Yeah.
Also, I'm just kind of taking the ones that I know of. Like, I'm not familiar with a lot of these.
That's fair. I think so far you've picked probably 5 of the most popular bands. So like it's a great choice. I mean, it doesn't get any better than Queen and the Beatles. I think half of America would want to go to that show, and all of Britain.
That's true.
Earlier when I was planning my strategy, I had told Nicholas Alexander that I think Grace's first 3 picks were going to be Queen, the Beatles, and Journey.
Wow.
Wow. All right.
Read like a book. Are you scared now, Grace? Are you shaking in your boots?
No, I had Aerosmith. No, I'm not shaking. I'm just kind of going off of what my dad listens to.
Honestly, solid. Your dad's got a great taste in music and fashion.
Yeah.
Seriously, 90s George Kubus is what I aspire to be.
he had like a mullet and he had a beard. He would just get his hair permed.
Yes.
Dude, your dad looks like half the dudes in Brooklyn right now. All right, Parolski. We're crawling out of the top 5 into the top 10. What are you picking at number 6?
Because of the whole Def Leppard debacle earlier, and I don't want Grace to just take it from me, I guess I'll just put them at number 6.
So we're just going to copy and paste what you said here about them.
Yeah, I'll fix that in post. Can you please say it again? I'm not fixing that in post.
No, Def Leppard's a pretty cool band. They're a cursed band. Their guitarist, one of their early guitarists had passed away, I believe, in a plane accident. And then their drummer, I believe, was in a motorcycle accident and had lost his arm. But even through the cursedness of the band, they still have come out with some really popular hits. And they also, I believe, since 1980 have had more rock hits than any other band since that time. So
Favorite Def Leppard song? What are you hoping they open their set up with?
open their set.
Or just your favorite?
Photograph. I know Photograph's a popular one, but I really do like Photograph. It's featured in GTA 5. No. Oh boy.
Oh, by Nickelback.
I feel like Def Leppard, I would say they were the Nickelback of their day just because of the sheer amount of hits. But what you were saying about them being a cursed band, having the coolest drummer in rock music of the 80s is no small feat. And the dude had one arm and was extremely freaking talented.
And they used a lot of rock bands from the 80s started using electric drums after he did, because he was able to just using the electric tom pads because it was easier for him to play on. A lot of drummers since that point started using electric pads, like Alex Van Halen and Van Halen was always using electric toms from then on. And also with Def Leppard, they were the first group to really pioneer the double tracking of the guitars. They had 2 guitarists, and then they even double tracked those and doing the multi-guitar layering, as opposed to the other bands that had started around that time.
Yeah, I'm noticing your lineup so far is very guitar-centric. I feel like Grace's is definitely a little bit more lyric-centric, but still, I mean, this is neck and neck.
Definitely. What do you respond with that, Grace?
I don't know if he already chose this because I can't open up the note.
I hate notes so much.
I was telling Grace who Motorhead was, and now she realizes who Motorhead is.
No, the way you typed that, I was like, what? Well, I'll just say who I want to pick. I want my number 6 to be The Who, but I don't know if you already picked.
No, they have not been picked, and I'm so happy that they got picked.
There we go.
Thank you.
Number 1, I love Baba O'Reilly just because it was my dad's favorite. Oh, it's such a good song. That song's on my playlist. I listen to that all the time, and it's in Stranger Things season 3, and I loved it.
Nice.
But I love The Who. I love all their songs and.
Yeah, The Who would have been in my top 5. I think they are one of the most underrated bands of this era by a landslide. So many great songs, and they never would disappoint a festival. No chance.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Unless it kills some people because the crowd was too big and they get run over. That might be a deep cut for you non-The Who fans.
Absolutely love The Who. Won't be fooled again. Pinball Wizard. I saw them in concert celebrating their 50th anniversary tour right before Peter Townsend died, because he's not dead, but he is a pedophile.
Yeah.
He's dead to me.
I'm glad you brought that up. That's why I didn't pick The Who.
Yeah, no. I think The Who is one of the greatest rock bands of the late 60s and early 70s. So happy that they're on your list, Grace. This was a big win for me. They were one of the few bands that I've been saying, when are they getting picked in my head for the longest time? And I'm happy that The Who have finally been picked.
I didn't see them there. I'm going to be honest. I did not see them on the list.
They were my 13th pick.
Oh.
Yikes. Anyway, I'm going to pretend John didn't say that.
They're my number 6, John.
Josh, how do you feel after this round?
Good pick. I like The Who. Yeah, like I agree with everything you guys said. I personally wouldn't have had them this high, but I'm glad they're in the top 10.
Solid, solid, solid. Definitely Who over Def Leppard in this case for me.
I mean, yeah, but I'm sorry, John. How do you bounce back, John? Let's get a good pick.
That's just the problem.
Dude.
Poor John. He's getting crapped on.
No, I'm stressing because I have so many choices that I'm like, okay, well, this one might be better than this one, and then I might just read the wrong notes again.
Take it easy. You got some water near you. Take a sip. Take a deep breath. It's okay.
Do you need an inhaler? Are you good?
We've got 19 more spots to go.
You gotta hydrate, King.
This is my 7th, and I'm gonna go with Heart, the band Heart.
Crickets. No, I'm kidding.
First female vocalist on the list.
Yeah, Heart was the sisters, Nancy and Ann Wilson. They started in '67. Then I think they were one of those few bands. I have another group that I'm hoping to draft that really was popular and, fight the patriarchy. They were one of the few bands that had women leads and were actually really good in the rock world. And Crazy on You's intro is one of my favorite intros of all time. And Nancy Wilson is just probably one of the greatest female guitarists of all time.
The problem is, I feel like I've seen Barracuda in so many cringe, like, empowerment scenes where I'm like...
Oh, I love that song.
That song rocks.
Yeah, Barracuda's great, but it's kind of become a meme.
You guys ever see that really shitty movie with Zach Galifianakis and Will Ferrell called, like, The Election Year or something? Or
The Campaign or something, right?
The Campaign, yeah, that's what it was called. They're like running for like mayor of like some random small town, but that
movie's underrated.
The scene where Will Ferrell is just headbanging to Barracuda in his car is what I think of every time, because that song is so good. I always have the same response. I wouldn't have put them this high, but I'm happy that they are, if that makes any sense. It's definitely not aligning with my tastes, but I think this would fit in really, really well with what John has for his lineup for this music festival. And I think they'd be a very unique sound and would stand out a lot compared to what else he has.
John doesn't hate women.
He's a feminist.
All right, Grace, how do you respond with your male-only festival?
Wow. I'm going to have to go with Guns N' Roses.
Axl Rose is not a female.
No, I know.
Okay, he just looks like one. Have you seen the Sweet Child of Mine video?
Yeah.
He does look very effeminate there, I will say that.
I don't really have much to say about it.
What's the first song you hope they play during their set at this music festival?
Probably Sweet Child of Mine.
Yeah, that would get people up on their feet if they were sitting down for sure.
Or Knocking on Heaven's Door. It's pretty good. Welcome to the Jungle.
Definitely some bangers. They'd have a great set.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Playing Sweet Child of Mine on an actual guitar right now?
I played Sweet Child of Mine.
Josh, maybe you have a better memory than me. I think that might be the first time we've ever actually had a musical guest. Like someone perform music on Duel of the Takes.
Yeah, how come Mars Council hasn't performed on Duel of the Takes yet?
Yeah, wait, seriously. Next time one of them's on, we need to do that. James versus John. Guitar duel on Duel of the Takes.
Guitar Duel of the Takes.
I think Guns N' Roses is a great choice here. I again wouldn't have drafted either one of these this high. There's some very obvious choices to me that are completely escaping right now. Two groups specifically that would have been in my top 5 that haven't been placed, but I'm not holding that against either one of you. Two solid picks here. I think Guns N' Roses lines up perfectly with Grace's sound, and I think Heart is a nice, slightly different sound for John's. I like where this is going.
Yeah, Nate, it's my draft and it's John's draft, not your draft.
That's true.
This isn't your festival.
He is the judge, though.
Oh, yeah, he's the one who's producing the festival.
I take it back.
All right, John. What number are we on?
8. Number 8.
It's John's number 8.
See, I'm taking that whole approach of like what order they should be in the festival now, and it's messing with all of this.
Don't think about it that way, because there's no way in hell Van Halen, Led Zeppelin, and AC/DC are performing on the same day. This isn't the order in which they're performing. This is the order in which they're billed.
Most of them are dead, by the way, so...
That's true.
That's why I said we're doing some time machine type shit here.
Yeah, that's why I don't think mine would go like Queen and then the Beatles. It'd be like...
It's like the ending of Bill and Ted 3.
I think Queen and the Beatles is a perfect transition.
From Queen to the Beatles?
Seen like one of those music festival posters? They have like the headliners for the entire weekend or whatever at the top. This is the order in which that festival's being built out. So Queen, the Beatles, and Aerosmith.
That's what I'm saying. I'm stressing out about it.
Don't worry about it.
Remember, it's your festival, John. You could do whatever you want.
In my head, the band that would immediately play after Heart...
No, that's not how you think about it.
Shh, no, it's the way I think about it. The band that would play immediately after Heart would be Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
Is that what you're picking here?
You go from Heart to Blackhearts. Yeah, that's my pick is Joan Jett.
I've also seen Joan Jett live. She rocks.
This is the first WrestleMania performance of the list, I think, and not the last.
If I had a nickel for every time one of these acts was on WrestleMania, I'd have 2 nickels.
A couple of nickels.
All right, so why Joan Jett other than the smooth transition?
Because now I'm thinking about a whole girl power day by having a bunch of girl-led groups on my list. Because Joan Jett is similarly to Heart, where Joan Jett started when I believe she was 15 or 16. She ran away and started in the Runaways. And that band was, of course, around for, I think, 5 years before each of the band members that was a fully led girl group would split off and go and do different genres, just like Lita Ford left to go and pursue more metal while Joan Jett wanted to go and do a more hard rock sound. And after that, Joan Jett had to literally go and start her own record company because no labels wanted a female-led punk band. It's to me, I've always found it as one of the coolest stories ever. And once again, just that theme song of "Don't give a damn about my bad reputation." That it's just really sticking it to the man, and I think that's just such a powerful song from such a powerful woman.
I 100% agree.
How do you feel as a theme song for Ronda Rousey when she went to the Octagon or pro wrestling ring?
I can never think about that because all I think about is Shrek.
All I think about is Freaks and Geeks.
Oh.
You guys ever watch that show?
Yeah.
No.
I think Joan Jett is a very solid choice. I think probably one of the biggest female names in rock and roll, in classic rock especially. And yeah, I like her kind of like angstier sound too. Would fit really well up there with Heart. I think, again, I saw her live. One thing that was really cool is she actually used to open for The Who when she broke off with the Runaways, which is wild. They were on the same label briefly and did a lot of touring with them 15 years into their career. And she was like the hip young sound. So I think that's really neat. Super talented. And Blackhearts are a great band.
Bunch of dudes. Bunch of guys being dudes.
Bunch of guys being dudes on Grace's list.
True, but it's her list. It's her list, not ours.
Yeah, you better hurry up. You better get a few women-led groups.
I'm here to win, John. I don't care about feminism.
Kamala Harris.
Don't worry, I'm all for women, but right now I'm playing to win.
Women can't make rock music, is what she's trying to say.
No, they can. But they're gonna be like top 20. They're gonna be like top 20 for me.
So based.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with Grace here when it comes to the band.
I will say, though, I think my favorite female-led band hasn't been picked yet, so take that for what you will.
Yeah, if she takes it, I'm gonna scream.
Well, I don't think I am because my number 8 pick is The Police.
Wow. I love The Police, the band, not the organization.
I agree with Nate.
On Rock Band, I used to sing Roxanne all the time. And then Every Breath You Take, oh, so good.
So many great songs. Walking on the Moon might be my favorite.
My favorite is Message in the Bottle.
Another great song. I think what's really cool about the Police too is, yeah, they fit in with classic rock, but they might be the most different sound on this entire list so far. They've got that like semi like reggae sound. They've got a little bit of a ska influence as well, and very pop forward compared to a lot of these acts. Police are awesome.
I liked Sting's cameo in a B movie.
True.
Yes.
My number 2 Pixar movie of all time. Or DreamWorks. My bad.
Wait a minute.
Sorry,
wait
I'm
a
having
minute.
a stroke. I meant DreamWorks.
B movie was a Pixar movie. It's top 10, right?
I mean, it's either that or Up.
Yeah, I like B movie better than Toy Story 3.
What?
I can agree with that.
Oh my gosh. You guys are terrible.
Grace obviously hasn't watched a B movie in a while.
I have. I don't think it's better than Toy Story, though.
No, 3, not 1 or 2.
Oh, maybe you're right. Stupid Bonnie. They should have just ended it at Toy Story 2.
Shut up, Bonnie.
I have a reputation here at Penn State, so I gotta...
Oh yeah, congrats. How's it going?
It's going well. I was walking to class in a flood yesterday, and then classes got canceled right when I got into the room, so it was great.
It sounds like when Nate went into Full Sail during the tornado warning.
During the hurricane storm watch, do you remember that day, John? And our instructor was like, I know the power's out, but we should stay. And then, like...
The room started flooding in the back.
Yeah.
Bruh.
That one, like, light post in the parking lot landed right next to Jason Santos's car.
Good times.
That was a mess. It was a scary day. Crushed a security guy's Jeep.
Oh my gosh.
We are near the top 10. John, what is your number 9 band?
My number 9 is going to be Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, damn.
Thank you. This would have been top 5 for me. But again, Grace said it's not my list.
Yeah.
That was number 9 for me. I'm not even joking.
Thank God. No, I think Fleetwood Mac, once again, you guys are all going to yell at me, but now I'm thinking of this in like separate days. So like, oh, the top 5 would be one day and then the second 5 would be another day. Def Leppard, then Heart, Joan Jett, and Fleetwood Mac, I think is great.
Wow, thanks for bringing that up. Def Leppard's standing up even worse now.
Yeah, Def Leppard feels super out of place, but I feel like I had to claim that one.
I'm gonna be honest, neither of my top 2 bands have been picked yet, and we're gonna get to a point where I'm gonna start to get angry if they don't get picked soon.
Josh, I know like which one you're talking about, and I'm not putting that as my top 10.
Well, I doubt the next band that I have anybody's going to pick. Or has anybody has in their top 10, but no, I think Fleetwood Mac is, especially in that concert headline, that would be killer.
Their album Rumors won our top breakup albums list.
Yeah, I think it's the greatest breakup album of all time because the people that were breaking up with each other were performing in the band at the same time. It's insane. The fact that there hasn't been a Fleetwood Mac biopic yet blows my damn mind.
Yeah.
The hardest thing would be casting. The script writes itself. And almost all the members are still alive and like in good health where they could produce the thing. Like Elton John produced Rocket Man. It would be tasteful. It would be great. Hollywood, if you're listening, make the damn movie. What are you waiting for?
Yeah, they'll make The Dirt, but not frickin' Fleetwood Mac.
Hey.
We'll get there when we get there.
No disrespect towards The Dirt.
Motley Crue?
My number 1 biopic of all time, John.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's my number 9.
We're talking about bands that have like a long record of like great music. Besides Rumors, Fleetwood Mac performed pretty well into the 80s as band members started to leave and stuff too. They stayed pretty popular. They also evolved with the times a bit, put out a couple disco-y sounding songs. They'd fit in pretty well with like Kiss and some other acts on your list for sure.
And they were popular on TikTok again recently.
They had a huge revival last year. All right, Grace, what's your number 9?
Number 9.
Okay, screw it. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna have to go with Eagles. I don't know. I just think that I don't think they're overrated. I think they're underrated.
Interesting.
What are some of your favorite Eagles songs?
Hotel California is my favorite. That is literally my favorite.
It'd be a great song to hear at a festival for sure.
Be like the 12-minute long version too.
I think the Eagles would fit in right there with like the Police and stuff. I think they've got a very accessible sound somewhere between the Police and the Who. Great choice. Fits in with that kind of like what we were saying earlier, that boomer rock aesthetic. I dig it. I really do.
Both lists are two very diverse lists, in my opinion. You know, maybe
They are.
a lot of the groupings on Grace's list really go well together. Maybe not so much with Aerosmith and Guns N' Roses, but that whole list it's definitely that boomer list.
Grew up with a boomer dad, so.
Speaking of which, my Gen X dad is fuming right now if one of these bands doesn't make the top 10.
Pink Floyd, I bet.
I think that's what they're talking about.
I asked my dad about Pink Floyd, and he said that they had like a couple hits, but he really didn't like them.
Well, they only had good hits for a few years. After The Wall, it kind of went downhill because somebody decided to steal the band.
Because I asked him, like, should they be in, like, my top 10? And he's like, no.
Bro.
You know, I disagree with that opinion so much. It's almost so based at the same time. That's like a Jory take.
Wait, is your dad replacing Jory in season 3?
Yeah.
Get him on the podcast. Wait, why? Where's Jory going?
He's been gone.
Have you noticed he hasn't been here?
Wait. Where has he been?
He retired.
For real?
Yeah.
He walked off into the sunset.
But why? Is he coming back?
We don't know.
Did him and his girlfriend break up or something?
No. Stop talking about it. Gotta re-rail this episode. Parolski, what is number 10?
I believe Cream should be the number 10 band.
A word?
Yeah, you got Jack Bruce, Eric Clapton, and Ginger Baker, which don't really care about the other two, but they were technically the first supergroup. And
That's true, they were.
First LeBron James Miami Heat super team.
I just think that they have so many recognizable songs. At the same time, because they were a supergroup, so many songs get confused that you're like, oh, I thought that was an Eric, like Cocaine, people think is an Eric Clapton song, but it's actually, they did that in Cream originally, or Sunshine of Your Love, very popular Cream song. It's in Guitar Hero 3.
Such a good song.
I definitely wanted to get Cream on that top 10, mostly because of Eric Clapton.
Solid. No, I think Cream would be a solid choice here. I don't personally love the band, but like you said, they're a super group. They weren't around for that long. Didn't really put out a ton of music, but their hits are so big that, yeah, you associate them with the standout acts of the group. And I think that's definitely the case. Sunshine of Your Love would be like the best way to kick off this music festival if they're like an opening act for someone else.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Also, we didn't have the Yardbirds on the list, but honestly, instead of Cream, I would have picked the Yardbirds because...
Yeah, better band.
Jeff Beck, Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page, all of them were cycled through that band, but no, I think Cream's a good finalized 10.
Solid. Grace, to you with number 10.
Time to finish out this top 10.
My number 10, Steve Miller Band.
Oh, no!
I love the song Jungle Love. Actually, I know I mentioned him a lot, but my dad introduced me to that song, and I love that song. And I think they're underrated too. I think they have a lot of good music, good albums. I feel like they don't have a lot of one hits. I feel like they just have a lot of hits.
Yeah, no, Steve Miller Band definitely has a lot of good songs, and I feel like they also their sound changed with the times better than most other bands. Like they have hits in 3 different decades, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I love Frank Miller Band.
All right, Josh, the top 10 has come and gone. How are you feeling?
I'm pissed.
Because he wants Pink Floyd.
I think we both do, but it's not our.
It's not our list, but there's also another band that is really sticking out to me where I'm like, how is neither of them have picked this? Especially Grace. Like, I know I listened to this band, like, so much in the car.
Now I don't know who you're talking about.
I also know that Nate's definitely... There are 2 bands I definitely know that Nate's like, what the hell, John?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
But honestly, the lists are still, like, pretty even. I think 7 through 10 got a little sus for me for both parties, but everything's fine so far.
See, I'm vibing in different ways. I got to get into the feel, combining Heart, Joan Jett, and Fleetwood Mac together. I got to get into the feel of it.
Between you and me, Josh, I think it's so even right now in the top 10. I think it's the next 10 that are really going to solidify who has the better list for me. I think 11 through 20 is really going to be who's got the better lineup.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what this mid card looks like. These festivals sound great. Both are doing a great job picking things that just didn't come to my mind when making this list. So I'm excited to see where this goes from here.
All right.
John, this is, according to Nate, a very important part of the list. What are you going to do?
I'm going to, once again, be worried that Grace is going to pick a bunch of mine that I already have listed out.
You better be worried, John.
Yeah, with it being the important 10, don't want to just shove a bunch of random hair metal bands in there. You want to still get some powerhouses. So I think number 11 for me is going to be Rush, the Canadian trio.
Hell yes.
Nice.
I knew it.
And if you guys notice how I've been doing the feels, that Rush I think is very good at that, especially progressive rock and being one of the first bands to articulate it, and especially with Geddy Lee, Alex Lifeson, the way they use their guitars and basses and keyboards, they just use any instrument you can think of. Rush probably used it in one of their songs.
Everyone I know that saw Rush live will say that it's either their favorite concert or one of their favorites.
So far, this is the only band that has been on Trailer Park Boys, and I think that says a lot about our society.
Based. That was a really good pick, especially for a music festival type thing.
If you're trying to win me over, picking Rush is a solid choice.
The next few I have, like I said, I'm super worried Grace is going to start stealing them.
Probably. I don't know, though. My next pick is going to be probably surprising.
All right, number 11, Grace.
I'm going to go with Styx.
Whoa.
That is surprising.
I want to hear the tick here. Why Styx?
I don't know. I just really like Styx, and I love Come Sail Away, and I feel like that would
Hell yeah.
that would fit so well in like my festival. And if they have to play one song, it would be that song, and everyone would know it. Everyone would go nuts.
Play Renegade by Styx to get people up on their feet, and then Come Sail Away after 2 songs. Then Queen plays. Boom. I see the vision. I think Styx is underrated. I would not draft them anywhere near my top 10, but I applaud you for doing so. I love...
No.
It's 11.
I was talking to Nate about this. Styx, to me, feels more like a parody of a band than a band itself, and I don't know how to explain that.
What?
They are one of my mom's favorite bands. You just won my mom over. She's going to your festival.
Hey.
Grace, you haven't won our mom over yet. You did not pick her favorite band yet.
I know her favorite band. I'm picking that one next, I swear. Unless John knows it, but I'm picking her band next.
Unless Sean knows our mother's favorite band.
If so, John, you're looking pretty sus over there.
I don't we could just pretend that never happened. It's there and it's done.
I think this was a very bold choice. This is kind of based, honestly.
It's the Mr. Roboto.
It's the most bold pick yet.
It really is. Adam Sandler is so happy right now.
All right, John, how do you bounce back?
In sequence, I'd have it go Rush and then Pink Floyd.
There it is.
Finally. Thank you.
This should have been top 5. This could have been my number 1 pick.
This would have been my number 1 pick.
Would it have?
Yes.
I don't agree.
They have produced some of the greatest music of all time.
For me, definitely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For you, I feel like there's a different band on here that would have been your number 1, but I hope Grace doesn't take it. I'm gonna cry if she does.
I guess if we're talking about the longevity of bands, I think Pink Floyd has put out 3 of the best albums of all time, period, regardless of genre. But I could see why in a music festival scenario they might not be the best band ever, but still, there are people out there that would go to this music festival just to see them do like another brick in the wall, and that's it.
Even if like Pink Floyd, like mainstream wise, isn't as big as say like a Aerosmith or AC/DC, their devoted fan base though will show up to that festival and sell it out.
And smell bad.
Them playing with Rush makes a lot of sense. We got some prog rock representation, thankfully, now outside the top 10. Two of the greatest prog rock groups of all time. Pink Floyd, Shine On, You Crazy Diamond. Wish You Were Here is the greatest album of all time, in my opinion. This is incredible. I'm happy to see them finally picked.
Finally. All right, Grace.
All right, my number 12.
I know your next
Yeah,
pick.
you know mine. It's Cheap Trick.
There it is.
All right.
I want you to want me.
Heck yeah.
I guess in a concert sense.
Definitely a good festival band. A lot of big hits. Super popular in the 70s.
My mom loves them. She absolutely loves them.
Ghost Town, great song.
Dream Police is definitely my favorite song.
Yep. Same.
That's so good.
Ghost Town didn't play in the movie Ghost, right? Because I have a really weird butterfly effect that it
I
did.
don't think it did. If it did, it's like on the car radio in that one scene. But I don't think it did. That would be funny if it did, though. Be a little on the nose. Wow. So here at the number 12 spot, Pink Floyd to Cheap Trick. I feel like they're opposite ends of the spectrum. I think they're definitely
Totally opposite.
they're pulling in different devoted fan bases for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like in the same way that having Hart and Joan Jett, like Fleetwood Mac even, Cheap Trick probably won over a lot of women to go to that festival over John's.
Yeah.
My mom and her sisters love Cheap Trick, and I never understood why. Great band, but like of all the bands from that era that they like remember fondly the most, it's weird that that's one of them. Solid. Lucky number 13, John. What is it?
Number 13 is The Doors.
Dude, you picked like my number 2 and 3 overall at 12 and 13.
Literally same. You finally picked me and Nate's top 3.
Yeah, they're great bands, but like, I mean, on my list, you could definitely see that I was going for not the so much psychedelic and progressive-y feel.
But even in the Doors movie, if those concerts are anything like that in the movie, that would be an awesome like concert festival type.
Yeah, I think you're starting to bring in the stereotypical like Woodstock music festival crowd in now.
Yeah, and after that, it's gonna take a hard turn, and it's gonna be like, what's up with this hair metal pop rock stuff you have going on?
It's all right, they're on shrooms. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, so if Pink Floyd and the Doors are playing back to back that day, Nate and I are going to be like the first 2 to buy those tickets.
Dude, I'm camping out for 3 days to get into the venue, front row seats that day, or standing. I mean, it's a festival. All right, number 13, Grace. What are you picking to counter the Doors?
So I'm going to bring some feminism in here. And I choose The Runaways.
All right, solid.
Yeah. Cherry Bomb. Such a good song.
Joan Jett's gonna have a busy weekend.
Yeah, she's gonna have to go back and forth, fly to the 2 different arenas.
She's gonna have to run away to the other concert.
John, where's your festival located?
You know, the whole island thing was really inspiring, so I was thinking that Grace's festival would be on one of the islands in Hawaii, and then mine would be across the water to a different island in Hawaii, and you'd have to go back and forth. Yeah, kind of like a Jurassic Park in the helicopter feel. You know, you come in, do, but it's freaking Pink Floyd or Queen or something.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm down with that. I was thinking Disney World, but let's go with
The Doors are headlining at Disney World.
You're on this helicopter, and you're pulling into this island, and Jimi Hendrix is playing the Jurassic Park theme on an electric guitar as like a solo. Epic.
Oh, gosh.
Good pick.
Thank you.
Number 14, John, what you got?
I have Jimi Hendrix at number 14.
The Experience?
Yes, well, yeah. The Experience.
You need to have the experience.
No solo acts, but the Jimi Hendrix Experience is technically a band.
Which is why I think we should have had the Ozzy Osbourne band, but whatever.
You got Black Sabbath. You got the better band.
No, I disagree.
I agree with John here. I think I had this debate with Nate.
It was a long day. But no, I feel like, once again, fitting in, while sometimes I think that Jimi Hendrix is overly labeled psychedelic rock, when I think he does a lot of hard rock, and of course he was experimenting very much that Van Halen type of feel where he was just trying to make sounds, not necessarily make music. And I think that Jimi Hendrix would be really good to go on with Pink Floyd and the Doors and really do a good transition moment from that more psychedelic nature into the more hard rock nature that I may be going in.
Yeah, I definitely think Jimi Hendrix would fit in on either one of these lineups really, really well. And again, one of those people who's going to pull in such a crowd. I think a lot of people of that boomer rock generation who didn't get to see Jimi Hendrix live really wish that they had the opportunity to. I think he's like at the top of people's like bucket list bands or bucket list acts. So one of the greatest guitar players of all time, sticking true to your theme. A lot of great guitar players on John's list. So over to you, Grace. What do you got at number 14?
My number 14 is Motley Crue.
All right.
Nice.
I don't know. I keep saying the same old thing, but of course my dad likes them, so I like them. Kickstart My Heart, pretty good.
Such a great song. Oh, hopefully they open with Shout at the Devil.
Dr. Feelgood is such a good album. Dr. Feelgood, and I know that in the movie The Dirt, which I don't know if you've seen it, Josh, but The Dirt, the movie about Motley Crue,
I think I have.
They really make a point of the scene of when they're making the Dr. Feelgood album that they sobered up, and I've always said that's my favorite album and definitely the best sounding album of Motley Crue. And I think Dr. Feelgood is just such a good album, and maybe it is because they sobered up that it came out so well. But Kickstart My Heart, Dr. Feelgood, Slice of Your Pie, there's just so many good songs on that album, and it's all just a fun pop rock, poppy feeling metal rock album.
It's so good. In terms of bands of that era, I think that would be probably on the top of my list to see live. So yeah, Motley Crue, solid pick here at number 14. I think they would have one of the best sets. If they just played 5 of their biggest hits, everyone would go home happy. Home Sweet Home, they close with Home Sweet Home, and then
oh yeah,
the Steve Miller Band hops on stage or something. It would be nuts.
Come on, take the money and run. I don't have a number 15 listed, oh boy.
To buy John a little bit of time, Grace, we were talking about venues. You guys are between splitting islands in Hawaii and Disney World. Do you have a name for your festival? Do you have a name for your event?
Oh, no, I don't. That's a good question.
You don't have to come up with one on the spot, but maybe it's something you could think about as you're drafting the rest of your list, because I'd like to give these awesome music festivals a name.
Actually, I do have a name.
All right.
Better than John Hollywood's festival.
You could call it the Boomer Festival.
The Boom Fest.
The Boom Fest.
Or no, because since I have mostly English bands.
British Boomers?
Yeah, British Boomers.
This shot heard around the world too.
The British are coming.
The British Boomer Invasion.
You got a number 15 Burger King foot lettuce pick here at 15.
Some bands that I don't care for.
My next pick is going to be Thin Lizzy after Jimi Hendrix. I always thought that their sound has always been familiar. And I really, really enjoy Thin Lizzy. With Jailbreak is one of my favorite Thin Lizzy songs. Not The Boys Are Back in Town, because that one I don't forget. Cowboy Song. Thin Lizzy's Cowboy Song. Their music, they were into that psychedelic rock, but at the same time it was very bluesy. And I think, once again, having Jimi Hendrix and Thin Lizzy on that list, I think is just such a good pairing, because even if they were to transition into each other, I think the music would flow really well on that concert day together.
I agree. I like the way you're going about booking this. It's there's a slightly different genre every day or every few hours. I definitely like the mix up, and the only way to really get from Pink Floyd to Thin Lizzy, in my opinion, is through the Doors and Jimi Hendrix. So this makes a lot of sense. I like the way that this is plotted out.
Thank you.
Grace, what is your number 15 Burger King foot lettuce pick?
Prince and the Revolution.
All right.
Damn it, that was my next pick.
Wait, really? I didn't want to sound dumb for picking it, but
Definitely not a dumb pick at all. I think Prince and the Revolution's a solid group. I would definitely would be picking it right about here.
all right, well, perfect.
Prince is definitely the most underrated guitar player ever, I think. Nobody ever refers to him for guitar technicalities or anything, but he played guitar, bass, and then also...
When he played it in the rain at the Super Bowl halftime show, that was pretty iconic.
I definitely think that's the greatest, in my opinion, that's the greatest Super Bowl halftime show ever. I think it's better than Michael Jackson's and everything.
You sure it wasn't The Weeknd?
Yes, I am sure.
My mom loves the song I Would Die For You, and we would just blast that in the car all the time. So I love that. I love Prince and the Revolution.
A lot of great songs. When Doves Cry, it would definitely be a great mix-up
Such a good
with
song.
like a lot of the other sound you have here. I feel like Prince and the Revolution kind of fits in with like the Police, but also fits in with like the Beatles or the Rolling Stones even.
Even Journey, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like one of those. It'd be weird to see what he'd select for a festival, but I agree. Probably the best halftime show of any Super Bowl was Prince.
He'd just go to the festival and perform a bunch of covers.
That'd be kind of based.
That'd be a Prince thing to do.
He'd do covers of the people that are at my festival.
He's just doing like Cream and Heart covers for some reason, and it's like honestly a better show than Cream and Heart would put on. I agree.
I changed this pick too. Thanks, Grace.
Solid pick.
Yep, I'm just picking off the top of my head now because I don't know if I want to go hair metal or orchestral, but
Go for it.
Tesla, I think is actually I think Tesla's kind of underrated.
I definitely think they are underrated. It's definitely an interesting pick here.
They're currently on the Keep It Real tour, which is a great name for a tour for these guys that are all in their 60s trying to play heavy metal still. But no, I think Tesla just has a lot of Love Song, Signs. Those are just some bangers of song, and all of their songs they all do that build up to a huge chorus, and I think that's especially when it comes to like Love Song and What You Give. It's very to compare to Journey, how Don't Stop Believin', that final chorus is really at the end of the song. They don't say Don't Stop Believin' till the end, and a lot of the Tesla songs are formatted that way, where it's just this constant build up and then a kick-ass climax chorus at the very end, and then everything fades back down and it's over like a story arc.
Definitely padding out the early part of the show right now. I dig Tesla a lot. Grace, do you have a number 16?
I do, and it's Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Isn't one of the guys though in that band, is he from Queen?
No.
I thought he was. No, never mind. It just looks like him.
So their biggest hit, Owner of a Lonely Heart, it was produced by one of the dudes from the Bubbles.
Yes.
Yeah, well, the Bubbles were the band Yes for a little bit. They like joined the band and like I don't know, and then then Yes became Yes again, and then they had their biggest hit ever. The history of that band is so intriguing.
I think Yes would have is fitting in the same way like Rush and Pink Floyd and the Doors are kind of fitting in John's list earlier. That really interesting prog rock experimental sound. I think they have some of the best album artwork and like put together cohesive like structure to their music. And they also have hits too, which is kind of rare for like a progressive rock group like that. Like, yeah, Owner of a Lonely Heart, Roundabout's a banger. There's like so many great songs that I think people would sleep on, and they would be awesome in any festival. I'm so happy to see Yes making the list.
One of my favorite bands. Very good pick, Grace.
Thank you very much.
John's afraid.
I can't figure out. I can't. Oh boy.
11 through 20 were very important.
Yeah, it's getting close again. Really, really close.
Not gonna lie, Grace slid off, but her last two picks.
Yeah, I mean,
What do you mean I slid off?
Styx was a little bit of a wild card. Cheap Trick, you were getting back in the right direction, but Motley Crue, Prince and the Revolution, and Yes, back to back to back. I'm really starting to kind of shift my gate here in that 11 through 20 spot. This middle 10 is very interesting.
I don't, you know, It's a lot of hype here, but I don't want it to get to my head, so I'm just gonna sit back.
I think there were still some legendary acts left to be selected, and I can't wait to see who picks what, because the rest of this list is very interesting. I think there's a lot of great takes here, still yet to be had.
I think there's a great meme pick for the final 5 that I think somebody should take.
The electric orchestra or something.
Yellow, yeah, Electric Light Orchestra.
What is that?
Or as Josh said, Ello.
You would know their song Mr. Blue Sky from Guardians of the Galaxy. It's the opening song that Baby Groot's dancing to.
That's them?
Yeah, ELO has a lot of great.
The meme, yeah.
Oh my god, I love that song.
Dun, 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 dun,
Okay.
dun, dun, dun.
If John takes that band, I'm gonna be pissed.
They also got Don't Bring Me Down, another great song that I'd love to hear at a festival.
They also have Do Ya?
Anyway, John, what are you picking here at 17?
Well, now that I know Grace is gonna pick it,
Damn it.
what I have for 17 currently is Motorhead.
Ah,
Oh.
there it is.
Do you like that jump from Tesla to Motorhead?
It honestly, it was a really smooth transition, surprisingly.
And this was the Josh bait. Now Josh has to go to the Motorhead day.
And not only that, though, you're gonna have like Tesla, screaming "Love will find a way," and then it's gonna go all dark, and then just bass just comes in, and then Jesus reigns. It just starts screaming in the back.
It's got to start out with the game. It's time to play the game.
It's time to play the game.
We're Motorhead, and we're gonna kick your ass.
Yeah, I think Motorhead's a pretty epic choice. They kind of stand out on this list. They're one of the heaviest groups here, so trying to find the right spot for them doesn't make a ton of sense, but I think that a very, very solid choice.
Wrote 3 of the greatest wrestling theme songs.
All right, Grace, to fit in with your British theme, are you going with Hello?
I am. I'm going with the Electric Light Orchestra. I think I just read it wrong because Josh, I thought it was the orchestra that does the Carol of the Bells song.
Trans-Siberian.
That would be so based.
I thought it was them, and I'm like, wait a minute.
That'd be a great intro to the festival.
It's just Carol of the Bells.
But I love Mr. Blue Sky. I remember Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I remember immediately after I heard that song before. I heard it in the game plan with The Rock.
Hell yeah.
It was in that movie, and ever since then I've loved that song. So I'm hype. I'm really hype.
I think ELO, they got some bangers. They would do a great job. They could open for anyone. They could even maybe open up on like main stage before someone like Journey or something like that. I think ELO super solid, great choice. Yes, and ELO back to back here. Picking some great choices here, Grace.
Thank you very much.
Number 18, Parolski.
Wow. I think Blue Oyster Cult is going to be my pick.
Solid.
Okay.
A lot of bangers there too. Is that set going to need more cowbell though?
The thing about that set that's going to be nice, I think comparatively, they could go and just play like 3 songs, They could literally just go play Godzilla, Burning for You, and then Don't Fear the Reaper, and then leave, and people would be satisfied.
True.
That's the set I'd want to see. Those are the 3 songs, and in that order.
Yep.
Dude, I would mosh to Godzilla by Blue Oyster Cult. I don't know if that's just me, but I would mosh.
They got to drop tune it.
All right, Grace. What do you have next?
I have Foreigner.
Dude, my mom is so going to your show. Styx, Foreigner, and Journey, and Cheap Trick? Forget about it. My mom doesn't even know the other concerts going on.
She doesn't even care about Queen. She just wants to see Styx.
What's that noise on the other island?
So can I turn it down over there? I'm having a hard time hearing Styx right now.
I love Jukebox Hero. That's such a good song.
I agree.
Like, they could just play that and it'd be fine.
Another Rock of Ages song.
Yeah.
Cold as Ice is good too.
Cold as Ice is a banger. Hot Blooded. They got they've got hits.
Feels like the first time.
Isn't More Than a Feeling Foreigner?
No.
That's a band for later.
I wanna know what love is. Is.
They also got they got I Want to Know What Love Is. They got their ballad. They play their ballad, get off stage, and then Prince and the Revolution starts shredding.
When doves cry.
The up and down on both of these concerts would be really weird in this order.
I don't even know if I could do 25 here.
Yeah, are you starting to not know the bands?
I'm starting to not know.
We'll speed round the last 5. We have a fun gimmick planned for the last 5.
Oh God.
Yeah, especially like Europe, they only have freaking
Hey.
the final countdown.
Yo, Rock the Night?
Y'all need to put some respect on my boy.
On Europe?
What's going on here?
It fits in with the British invasion theme, okay?
Yeah, that's why I'm hoping she has to deal with them.
No, I don't want to deal with the, you got the Kinks? Are you guys talking about the Kinks?
What are you talking about?
I want the Kinks, so there, you can get Europe and I'll get the Kinks.
Google said that they were banned from America because of their behavior.
Yes.
Yes. I love the Kinks.
Yeah, America banned Kinks. America's kink shaming, nothing new. How do I
I don't. Alice Cooper.
Oh, damn it.
Alice Cooper.
I think Alice Cooper is the next pick.
Yeah, Alice Cooper. I'm kind of surprised it took this long for them to get mentioned, but solid band, lot of hits.
He has a really good longevity as well.
Very much so.
Yeah, I like Alice Cooper.
Yeah, I'm surprised Alice Cooper wasn't picked right around like the Kiss, like not necessarily like top 5, but like I feel like that could have played back to back.
Yeah, Alice Cooper probably would have been like, yeah, on my personal list, it probably would have been like top 15-ish.
Yeah.
The thing is, he's been around since the 60s too, so there's just so much of Alice Cooper, and not to say that it all sounds the same, but they're very much like, when you hear Alice Cooper, you're like, that's definitely Alice Cooper. Whether it be Feed My Frankenstein or School's Out, those are two. One could be a creepy song, and the other is just blow up the school or whatever, but
Wow.
forgot this is going on YouTube.
Maybe.
Don't say that.
It was real to me. All right, Grace, number 19. What do you got here?
Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
There it is. Another one of my mom's favorites. They have their own Sirius XM satellite radio station. They're that popular and that good. You're pulling in a whole new audience there with Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
You know who also has his own radio station now?
Who?
Pitbull.
Does he really?
Mr. Worldwide.
I believe so.
That's insane.
He does. Oh, he does.
But yeah, I mean, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. What can you say about? Talk about a group with a ton of hits.
Oh yeah, for sure. Didn't Barnyard play 2 of the songs?
Won't Back Down. You got American Girl. I mean, just those 2 alone, like, that's huge. Mary Jane's Last Dance, American Girl, and Won't Back Down. Tom Petty's playing one mean set at this festival.
Yeah, Grace's Festival's very much so the mom concert, I feel.
Cool.
At least the beginning is. She's getting both parents. The moms are gonna get there early, and then the fathers are gonna come later for like.
All the feminists are gonna go to John's festival.
Only for one day.
All right, here it is. The last one of the middle 10. We've got number 20 before the speed round. The last one you guys are picking by choice. What are you closing with, Parolski?
I have to put Quiet Riot on there.
Do you?
Yes. Because right, this is the time machine, right? That Nate always talks about. So Quiet Riot had Randy Rhoads in it, who of course was the Blizzard of Oz guitarist and Diary of a Madman guitarist. And I just think that if he were to stay in the band and not have joined Ozzy Osbourne and had continued doing the stuff musically that he was doing before he just died in the plane crash, I think Quiet Riot would have been way more popular than they ever have been. They have some popular songs, Come On Feel the Noise, which is a cover, but then they have Metal Health, Slick Black Cadillac, but a lot of those songs, you could see that influence of that early 80s rock and metal and what had started to change and become the hair metal and glam metal of the time with those early days of Quiet Riot, and I just have to have them in the top 20.
Fits in with your theme, talking great guitarists. I mean, Randy Rhoads, probably one of the greatest of all time. It's so sad that he Well, he was in, 2-3 groups.
No, he started Quiet Riot when he was 16, and when he was 19 or 20, he left for to go and audition for Ozzy Osbourne. And he only passed away when he was 25, so having Blizzard of Oz and then Diary of a Madman, as well as those 2 Quiet Riot albums, it's a pretty good track record for a career that was so short.
It really is. Quiet Riot, number 20. Grace, what is your number 20?
My number 20 is Scorpions.
Nice.
Yeah.
Rock You Like a Hurricane. You kidding me? Love that song.
No One Like You is a great song.
I feel like I didn't pick them earlier because I had no idea that they sang Rock You Like a Hurricane. I literally had no idea that they were the ones that did that, and I think they're underrated. I'm stupid.
Winds of Change.
I love that. One of my favorite rock ballads of all time, Wind of Change, about the Cold War ending. An absolute banger of a song.
I agree.
They were a German rock band, and they could barely speak English, but they recorded all their music in English because they became super popular in America, and I think that's really cool. So in the old interviews, they're always like, can we please speak German? In the original interviews while they were releasing records that were in English.
That's crazy.
Kind of telling the lyrics because it's like, here I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Josh, why aren't you at Party at the Patio? It's Fleetwood Mac night. It's a tribute.
Oh, really?
I know what Josh is doing after this.
Is Bon Jovi not on this list?
No.
No, and I was looking for it and I wanted it.
He would fit in very, very well with Grace's list and not very well with John's.
My mom would not go to my concert, but she'd definitely go to Grace's concert.
Did we exclude Bon Jovi for a reason? I'm a little confused here.
No, I sent you the list and you didn't have anything to add. Like a Bon Jovi edition would have been great. It slipped my mind.
We already had 55 bands.
I also, when I think Bon Jovi too, I also very much think of his pop breakthrough songs. I don't really think of rock, so maybe that's just my bad.
I feel like Living on the Prayer is a better banger than Don't Stop Believing.
Okay.
I can agree.
I don't.
That's one of the most normie takes you've ever had on this show.
Well, is it the normie take if 3 of you think otherwise?
I feel like Don't Stop Believing is definition of normie anthem.
I mean, neither would be my anthem, but I think Don't Stop Believing's a better song.
Nah, I don't know about that.
Just a small town girl.
Okay, well, anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. We still have 5 spots to go each. That means 10 more groups are getting placed. And I believe that means there are 16 left. So we're doing a speed round. The way we're going to do this, I'm going to offer 3 bands, and you have to pick one of the 3. You ready for this, John? It's going to get nuts. We've never done anything like this in a draft.
I just say it right away.
Yep. Whichever one of the 3 you want of the 3 I name.
Nick, can I also name one?
Oh, yeah. Actually, we'll rotate. So, Josh, you go first for number 21, and then I'll go for 22 with the bands that are left.
I'll go with ZZ Top, Dire Straits, and Genesis.
ZZ Top.
Interesting. Okay.
All right, what 3 are you giving to Grace? It can be 2 of the same as well.
Yeah, I'll stick with Dire Straits, Genesis, and Boston.
Genesis.
Solid choice there. That's what I would have picked too.
Another mom concert.
Hey,
Genesis is great.
I almost paid $500 for Genesis tickets 2 months ago. I don't want to hear it.
Are you my mom?
Daddy, do I look?
Do I look like your daddy? All right. You ready for this, John?
Yeah.
You got Deep Purple, Creedence Clearwater Revival, or Wings?
Ooh.
CCR.
All right, Grace. You've got Steppenwolf, The Kinks, or the Doobie Brothers.
Steppenwolf.
Interesting.
Over the Doobie Brothers.
I don't know who they are.
John, you got Kansas, Deep Purple, Dire Straits.
Deep Purple. Richie Blackmore.
Grace, you got Kansas, Rat, the Kinks.
The Kinks.
That was big.
All right, John. You've got the Doobie Brothers, Steely Dan, and Kansas.
Oh no! You did that on purpose. Dire Straits.
I didn't give you Dire Straits. I said the Doobie Brothers, Steely Dan or Kansas?
Doobie
You
Brothers.
finally have a mom act. Finally.
And that's all I could think there. That's all I could think.
It took you 24 spots to get a mom band, and you finally got the best one, in my opinion.
It's not the band I wanted, though.
All right, and Grace, you've got Kansas, Steely Dan, or Boston?
Kansas.
Solid.
I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
Leonard Skinner, Boston, and Rat.
Rat.
Bro, what?
I've been trying to get Rat in 21 and nobody was giving it to me. Bruh. They have a lot of good songs.
They don't.
They have a lot of good songs. There's like 6 of them. All right, well, you're not wrong.
Can't believe you turned down fucking Leonard Skinner for Rat.
Rat didn't have problems.
I feel better now I didn't pick that. I was gonna pick it because of Ratatouille.
Oh, Remy, the Ratatouille.
All right, Grace, you ready?
No, but let's go.
Wings, Leonard Skinner, or Boston?
Wings.
Based.
Yeah, that was clutch.
No one picked Steely Dan. I'm crying.
I didn't think anybody was going to pick Wings.
Yeah, I was getting worried there.
At least nobody picked Europe.
I almost set it up for you to pick Europe.
Yeah, that Europe, Boston, and Kansas. I'm like, come on.
Well, this has definitely been an interesting draft. Josh, as the judge, the only other judge besides me, where are you leaning? How do you feel?
I think we're gonna have to do the point system because this is too even. Every time I try to pick a flaw in one list, another thing evens it out.
Well, we've got Grace's name for a band right now, or for a tour, I should say, for the name of this festival, the British Invasion / Better Than Johnny Hollywood's Festival.
Yes.
The British Boomer Invasion.
Oh, British Boomer, of course. How could I forget? And John, what is the name of your Warped tour?
I think I'll call it Shock on a Rock because get it? It's an island, so they're on a giant rock.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like it.
So there's like some Black Sabbath in there. You're like, oh, Alice Cooper, shocking. Oh, Kiss. Oh.
Well, I guess we're gonna do the good old fashioned point system. Whoever has more head-to-head W's out of 25, it's an odd number. We will get a definitive winner here between Josh and I.
Yeah.
Up first, we're going to start at the bottom, so it gets more suspenseful as we move on.
Oh, nice.
Rat or Wings?
Wings.
I don't like this.
Doobie Brothers or Kansas?
Ooh.
What? Come on!
What are you gonna go with?
I think it's the Doobie Brothers 100%. Not even really close.
Yeah.
What a Fool Believes is better than Kansas's entire discography.
Name a Kansas song.
Kansas City Chiefs.
The Kansas City Chiefs. Okay.
It's my favorite song.
Carry On Wayward Son is a great, great, great song. Dust in the Wind's also good. I don't really know beyond that.
I love Dust in the Wind.
Deep Purple versus the Kinks. I'm going Deep Purple, so it's our first split.
Okay.
CCR or Steppenwolf? I'm going CCR.
So am I.
Fortunate Son starts playing.
ZZ Top or Genesis?
ZZ Top for the meme.
Okay, I'm going Genesis for no meme. I unironically love Genesis.
Wow.
Quiet Riot or Scorpions?
Oh, man.
I'm going Scorpions.
Yeah, me too, Scorpions.
Alice Cooper or Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers?
Ooh. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
I think I gotta go Alice Cooper for the consistency, but I like where you're going.
Yeah, it was tough. That was tough.
Blue Oyster Cult or Foreigner?
Foreigner.
Okay, we're split again. I'm going Blue Oyster Cult. Motorhead or ELO? Holy shit.
Oh, no!
This couldn't get more different.
I gotta go with Motorhead.
I'm going ELO. We're split again. Tesla or Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Thin Lizzy or Prince and the Revolution?
Come on, man!
It's Prince.
Jimi Hendrix Experience or Motley Crue?
Motley Crue.
We're split. I'm going Jimmy.
Yeah, as you should.
The festival is happening right now. There are 2 stages on opposite ends of the field. You either go to see The Doors or the Runaways? Which one are you running to?
The Doors, no question.
All right, same scenario. Pink Floyd and Cheap Trick. Where are you running?
Pink Floyd.
All right. Rush and Styx are playing on the A and B stage at the same time. Are you rushing to Rush, or are you sticking with Styx?
It's got to be Rush.
It's definitely Rush.
I was trying to be like, maybe if I had like a lot of beers in.
So you could dance to Mr. Roboto.
The only way I'm sticking at Styx is if like
Come sail away.
I'm already there and I have like a good stage spot. And Rush, I'm standing in the back.
You could still hear them in Rush.
All right, we're now in the top 10. Cream or the Steve Miller Band?
Steve Miller Band.
It is Steve Miller Band for sure. Fleetwood Mac or the Eagles? I'm fighting with myself here. I'm thinking Fleetwood Mac.
I'm gonna split. I'm gonna go Eagles.
Eagles members had a better solo career.
Joan Jett and the Blackhearts or the Police? That's tough.
The Police.
Yeah, it's the Police. Heart or Guns N' Roses?
Heart.
Yeah. Yeah, Heart. Def Leppard or The Who?
The Who.
Yeah, we're there. We're seeing The Who. Black Sabbath or Journey?
I know I shit on the whole time, but I think Journey.
I'm going to Black Sabbath. I've been praising Journey the whole time, and I'm going to Black Sabbath. All right, Kiss or the Rolling Stones?
Oh, the Rolling Stones, actually. If it's prime Mick Jagger.
Yeah, but
If it's Prime Kiss?
for the spectacle, I'm seeing Kiss. It's split for me. AC/DC or Aerosmith? I'm seeing AC/DC personally.
I think I'd be more interested in Aerosmith live than AC/DC.
All right, a split there. This might be the hardest one yet. Led Zeppelin or the Beatles?
This is the hardest one.
I'm going Led Zeppelin.
But it's all 4 Beatles.
They're all alive.
Yeah, all 4 of them.
Yeah, Paul McCartney's definitely not dead yet.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be disrespectful if the Beatles don't get a vote here. I'm going to split it.
All right, and Van Halen or Queen?
Queen.
It's Queen.
Whoa.
Oh, man, that was a tough one.
It was quite funny. There were a few runs where, like, 3 in a row I'd get a point, or 3 in a row Grace would get a point.
It's because I put Styx as number 11, bro.
I mean, if I realized we were doing that, I would have organized the list better.
Sometimes we don't do that, but when it's really close, we do it.
Because especially those last 5 picks, I was like, I'm not going to get any of these. I kept the wig on the whole time.
Damn, is your head itchy now?
A little bit.
How's your head, Nate?
Why? What happened?
I got mugged on the train on Friday night.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Shit happens.
Well, my mini fridge hit me in the face.
How's your face?
I have a lump.
How's the mini fridge?
Yeah, is the mini fridge okay?
I went to rip the plastic off, and I didn't know that the door wasn't, like, taped shut. So I, like, ripped it, and it yanked open, and it hit me.
That's what happens when you don't draft the doors.
A door attacks you?
John is door safe tonight.
Before I read the results of the number count, how do you feel? Is there a specific way you're leaning after going through all of them again?
I'm excited. I'm excited to defeat one of these guys in a couple months. I think when it comes to hits and excitement that I have for a concert, to not have any bias, I think more people would go towards Grace, and maybe that's what I'd do. But John's got the Doors and Pink Floyd, so I'm also leaning towards him more. At what I personally would go to, it's probably John's.
I think that the overall music selection is probably going to be a little stronger at Grace's, but the actual bands that I'd want to see, you're talking raw talent, stuff that Dreams Are Made Of, dude. John's got everyone. John's got Pink Floyd. John's got Led Zeppelin. John's got The Doors. John's got Jimi Hendrix. I mean, just those acts alone, it's man. But we're talking about the music. It's hard to beat Queen, Beatles, Tom Petty, the Eagles, The Who.
Yeah.
It's tough. I think overall the better music is being performed at Grace's, but the better artists are at John's. That's how I feel.
Totally agree.
Well, the point total is Grace 16.5 points, and John with 11.5.
Whoa.
What?
No.
Wow.
What? No.
Grace is the first 3-time champion.
I really thought John was gonna win. I for sure thought he was.
Well, like I was saying, where I think it really comes down, where it was going to come down to in general, was that 10 to 20 spot, because the top 10 was so solid. Grace technically had 4 where both of us want to go see them instead of John's. I mean, the Who versus Def Leppard we laughed at. The Police versus Joan Jett was tough, but Cream versus Steve Miller Band was also like kind of scoffed at. Where I think it really came down to was between 11 and 20. And that's John started off so strong. Rush, Pink Floyd, The Doors, back to back to back. Somehow we were split on Jimi Hendrix and Motley Crue. Don't know how that happened. But after that, Grace just dominated 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. We were split or in her favor for 6 in a row there, and that's what it really came down to.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, the endings of both the lists, you could definitely lean towards Grace's.
John, what a Duel the Takes debut though. You gave us some facts about the bands, some things I didn't even know.
Yeah. I mean, and like you were picking out a passion. These are groups that like you know a lot about, you care a lot about. Like I said, I think you picked the better artists. But which show am I going to? I'm taking my mom to the British Boomer Invasion.
Oh, for sure. You could, and even honestly, I think that the diversity in the music of my show is like, it's more niche targeted almost. Whereas Grace's, I feel like so many people will know so many songs from so many of those bands, where most of the bands I picked, people may only know 1 or 2 songs.
Dude, I don't know how Steely Dan got left on the table. Would have literally probably been in my top 10, if not top 15.
That was a really, really good game, John. That was just great. And I got scared. In the beginning there, when you mentioned my top 3, like, how you predicted that, I was like, oh, he knows my game plan.
Yeah, I crumbled apart halfway through.
This might have been my favorite episode to record in quite a while. I think that the takes were just everywhere. The fact that Pink Floyd didn't get picked until number 23 out of the options just blows my mind. I literally think we couldn't have gotten 2 different music tastes together for this list. And this is a legendary episode in my opinion. Thank you, John and Grace, for both joining us today. And Josh, what's the next draft battle? You and Grace are fighting over what the best pictures of all time are?
Oh.
Best Picture Oscar winners, Grace. Do your homework.
Okay.
John, do you have any predictions for that? What do you think the number 1 picks are going to be for the best pictures?
No. I'm sorry, but if I'm going to place bets, though, it's definitely on Grace, because before coming to this episode, I was like, Grace is on a roll. This does not look good for me.
Aw, thanks, John.
I'd be wary, Josh.
Season 3, I think John should go up against Alden. I think...
In what?
in something, because I think if anybody could defeat Grace, if Grace is still undefeated by then, I think a rematch between John and Grace, This is like McGregor's last fight. Let's run it back.
I would love to go up against John again. He literally scared me. I was like sweating the entire time, so I would definitely do that again.
Let's go for the next one. I'm ready.
You're now down in the rankings though. You gotta work your way up. You're in Alden. You're in Alden tier. I'm sorry.
Alden territory.
Alden, who's 0-3, I think, in the draft. 0-2.
Yeah, I think he and I have the same record, which is 0-2, which it just really hurts. Honestly, it does. Whatever. There's no way. Like, I get losing to Grace in the Marvel thing, but my sports list, the best sports movies of all time list, was straight up rigged. And I have audio evidence of it on a hard drive that was stolen from me last Friday.
Actually, I have to say, if I win against Josh, can I be a judge for one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I would love to be a judge.
She retires undefeated. She's like, there's no competition for me.
No, I think we definitely need you as a guest judge whenever your reign's over. But right now, you're the queen of the draft, Grace.
Woo!
I think you're the first guest we've ever had on 3 times in a season, but you keep winning these, so...
She's a day player now.
You've been on more episodes this season than Jory. thank you everybody for listening, and thanks for sticking with us. I know the upload schedule's been a little rough, but should be fixed soon.
We hope you feel better, Nate.
I feel pretty good, honestly. I think working an entire week, I don't know. I don't think I really had like a severe concussion, probably just a mild kind of, brain rocked. I was foggy for like 2 days after, but Monday morning hit, got some coffee in my system, worked an 8.5-hour day, and I felt back to normal.
Working boomer hours, listening to boomer music.
Going to a mom concert, apparently.
I mean, I picked it, didn't I?
You're right.